Being nibbled at bigger prices, Lisa. Whiskey and Beer was one of those who did show a bit first time out in a maiden at Ferrias, won by Black Forza, and the other one was Joseph O'Brien's Viking Invasion, who's had a couple of runs. And in fairness, Swagman, who beat him at Naas last time, came out and ran well the other day. Would you give him a squeak?
Yeah.
So the favourite's gone in okay. All looks to be well there. And Rock of Cashel about to go up. Colours we saw carried to victory last year. By the horse who went on to Hong Kong afterwards, now known as Prestige Always. Let's join Jerry then for the first flat race of the week.
Set. They're off. 8 runners leave the stalls as a 7 furlong start. The Eventus EBF Maiden. Pushed up on the inside, Winston Jr. with Rock of Cashel went out from the rail, followed by Admiral Churchill, tracked by Truth Be Told, and Whiskey and Beer, and Berta Ramirez in between horses. As they continue to the highest point of the course, and it is Rock of Cashel just leading in front from on the inside, Winston Jr., tracked by Admiral Churchill and Truth Be Told, and Whiskey and Beer. Berta Ramirez is two behind, Viking Invasion and High Favour. Racing towards the halfway stage, and it is Rock of Cashel on the outside of Winston Jr. Not much between them, followed down inside halfway by Admiral Churchill, and then Truth Be Told, Whiskey and Beer, Berta Ramirez, Viking Invasion and High Favour. Little changes in the order with 2.5 furlongs to go. And nothing between on the inside, Winston Jr. One from the rail, Rock of Cashel, followed by Admiral Churchill. After them in 4th place is Truth Be Told, who gets a reminder as they run round the home turn. With 2 furlongs to go, and it's Rock of Cashel getting on now by a length to on the inside. As they straighten it up, Winston Jr., then Truth Be Told, who's trying to close in the centre, and then Admiral Churchill. Wide of them is Viking Invasion, and then Berta Ramirez. Less than 150 yards to go, and there's no getting to Rock of Cashel. Rock of Cashel and Wayne Lordan score by a couple of lengths to Admiral Churchill, Viking Invasion, and 4th for Truth Be Told.
A very different proposition, second time. Rock of Cashel, who ends up quite a big price here, as one for Aidan O'Brien, and Wayne Lordan scores at 3-1, did touch 7-2, having dwelt at the start on his debut at the Curragh. We'll see today that he makes a much better break, in contrast to the favourite, Lise, who didn't come away particularly well, and Chris Hayes really had to get after him to get an early position. That said, I don't know whether I'd want to make too many excuses for him. What about you?
No, I don't think so, Gary. Look, he was rousted along in the early stages and got a prominent position, just tucked in behind the leaders. Whereas you mentioned Rock of Cashel, who was better from the stalls today. He was very awkward from the stalls in the Curragh the last day. An awful lot more professional at the front end. Ran a little bit off the bend just there as we picked them up. But the favourite, quite disappointing, I think, to be perfectly honest, Gary. He was tucked in on the rail with Chris Hayes on board, but the distress signals were out from a long way.
Yes, up front, Winston Jr. had some barrier trial experience to call on, mixed it with the eventual winner, Rock of Cashel, and then in behind we had Admiral Churchill on the outside of Truth Be Told. And just see here as they go into the turn, Truth Be Told just seems to be hanging a bit, Lisa. Just Chris Hayes, you see, he gives him a couple of slaps down the shoulder with the right hand. He looked to me like he was hanging into the rail, and he gets very serious with him then, and not much of a response in truth.
No, there's not. Yeah, he's leaning into the rail, he's leaning to his right hand side, and Chris is trying to manoeuvre him around to try and actually let him extend and get him out to get a little bit of room to go forward, and he doesn't want to. He leans in behind the other horse, but just you can see the response from him in the finish is a little bit disappointing, Gary. I thought when he got a bit of room at the home up the straight that he'd be able to actually pick up and gain a little bit of momentum, and all in all it's a little bit disappointing effort from him, whereas in contrast the winner was good in game and showed a good attitude at the front end.
And this fella was very well touted before his debut at the Curragh. He went up 7-4 favourite for that maiden that was won by the well-trained Hasdan, and has already been working out well. Green Impact, the second horse, went one better at Leopardstown the other day, and he's certainly shown something more like his true colours this time, under a positive ride from Wayne Lordan, helped by Wootton Bassett, obviously very well related, half brother to Snowfall, and
he's learned plenty, hasn't he, as well, Gary?